going on, Guardians? TBL here from Planet Destiny, and in today's video we're going to be taking a quick look at the Genesis Chain Raid Auto Rifle. We will be giving you a quick review of the weapon's stats as well as our thoughts on how it performs in both PvE and PvP. Alright, this auto rifle can be obtained from the final boss in the Wrath of the Machine raid, and it's a pretty interesting weapon overall in my opinion, much like the other raid primaries. Stat-wise, the Genesis Chain is in the 77 rate of fire, 28 impact tier of auto rifles, so think your Suros regimes or Shadow Prices and Grim Citizens. It's got a great base range of 40, a stability stat of 44, and a reload speed of 73, which is very high by the way for this archetype of auto rifle. But let's go ahead and take a look at this gun's perks. First up, we've got the raid weapon's intrinsic perk, Whirlwind's Curse, which increases damage to all fallen enemies as well as granting a natural boost to agility. This is a fantastic ability that's really perfectly suited for just about all of the content in Rise of Iron. In the first tree, we've got Linear Compensator, Accurized Ballistics, and Field Choke, all of which increase the recoil of this gun very slightly. Next up, we've got the Focus Fire perk, which of course reduces this gun's already low rate of fire, but increases the damage per shot when you aim down sights. In the middle tree, this gun is rocking Speed Reload, High Caliber rounds, and Hammer Forged to basically max out this gun's range. Now, normally I jump between Hammer Forged and High Caliber rounds. Usually you would want as much range as possible on basically any primary weapon in the game, but playing around with High Caliber rounds, I found that it staggers enemies quite a bit, likely due to this gun's already high impact being boosted by Focus Fire, so it's a very viable choice. Finally, we have Focused Firefly, which states that while Focus Fire is active, precision kills will cause targets to explode. And believe me, that explosion is glorious. This perk mixes in really well with this weapon's naturally high impact and great base range, and it really turns this gun into a fantastic crowd clearing weapon. It also gets its own special audio cue when you pull off headshots, making this gun very satisfying to use. Seriously, take it into Archon's Forge of the Raid. You will be clearing up mobs like nobody's business. Now, personally, I think this auto rifle is an incredibly fun PvE weapon. Its high damage and ability to manage adds with Firefly at long distances due to its great base range is only really made better by the fact that it's having its damage naturally boosted versus fallen enemies. Simply put, it's a great gun for almost all of the content in Rise of Iron, whether it be Archon's Forge, Strikes, or the Raid. As a matter of fact, it's great especially in the Raid, as it will allow you to very easily control Shanks, Dregs, and Vandals without too much trouble. Overall, the gun's biggest flaw really lies in its stability, as it has a slight tendency to bounce around quite a bit while firing, making it a little bit awkward to keep on target sometimes. Although, thanks to the slow fire rate of this gun, which is made again even slower with focus fire, the recoil problems aren't really as bad as they could be. Now, one area where this gun did not perform very well was, of course, in the Crucible, at least in my opinion. The Genesis Chain is of course in the lower rate of fire archetype of auto rifles, which is already in a pretty tough spot when put up against the other primaries commonly found in PvP. And while this gun definitely hits hard, 33 to the head and 26 to the body at optimal ranges, which means it can kill in about 7 crit shots in one body shot on average, its overall stability and time to kill will leave a lot to be desired. I found myself having a difficult time competitively keeping this gun on target, and mostly found myself losing encounters or getting assists simply because the gun lacks the damage output time to kill wise to really compete favorably with other weapons. It really just can't compare with the other Crucible superstars like the Mida Multitool and the Palindrome, which is the literal king of PvP right now. But for the most part, that's okay, because this weapon's performance in PvE is more than reason enough to pick it up. Against minions of the darkness, this gun is reliable, has great range, hits hard, and is perfect for running content that requires tons of ad control. The gun's biggest strengths are its exceptional range, damage and crowd control via Firefly, and its above average reload speed, while its biggest flaws really lie in its overall below average stability and slow time to kill in the Crucible. Personally, I think it's a really fun gun that works really well in most bits of content in the Rise of Iron. And while I don't think the gun can currently compete with top runners in PvP, the Genesis Chain is definitely a workhorse in PvE. And if you get it to drop, I have no doubt you'll enjoy it. But alright, there we go, Guardians. That's it for my thoughts on the Genesis chain. Be sure to let us know what you think of this awesome raid primary down in the comment section below. And if you'd like, feel free to check out my own personal channel for more Rise of Iron content. As always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.